But I enter the Twitch chat when when the stream isn't live, so that smooths out that process.
Gotcha. Tim, how is Twin Breaker?
Twin Breaker was fun. When I did it, I did that live stream on it, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. And the story, the beginning was like too long for reading. Like I just wanted to jump in and play, and it's just like the constant dialogue going and going and going about why you got these. It was a great story. It's just like okay, all right, next page, right? I'm gonna start playing. Okay, there's more story, but it was still interesting how it built up and stuff like that. So
it would appear that we are live.
It would appear
live.
Yep. You ready, Tim?
Just about.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here.
Pokemon.
Okay.
Love live shows. Thanks for joining the chat, guys. Appreciate it. I see. Hey, it's Chad. Says love live shows. Well, good. We're just starting here. Kicking off.
Especially when the official show hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Usually we're a little more prepared before you actually hit live, Jesse. So I appreciate you. I really do.
I gave you a warning.
I sure I nag at you, and then like nothing happens. Then all of a sudden you're like, and we're on. Do 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 do.
Okay, now I'm ready.
All right, you're ready. All right, we'll count it. Okay. In 3,
yes,
2, 1.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 299. One more to go. Recorded on October 1st, 2020. And on tonight's episode, we talk about the surprise Super Smash Bros. Character that was announced today, or last night, or yesterday, whatever you want to call it. The wonderful world of Animal Crossing, our annual holiday Pokemon game, and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of community questions and comments. With that, Jesse, you know what to do.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 299. Now, Tim said we've got one more to go. What that doesn't mean is it's one more show and then we're done. What he means is one more show until episode 300. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This dumpster fire of a podcast has been going for almost 300 episodes, and next week is our big celebration. But before we get there, my name's Justin Masson, and of course, I'm joined by two of the coolest guys around on the internet. Number one, coming to us in the sound booth, the man behind the buttons, controls and directs the show, turns it on early without telling me or Tim, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jesse Waldack. Jesse, how are you today?
Pretty good. Another long day at work. I literally didn't get off work until about an hour before, or less than an hour before we started show prepping. Ooh. So almost a 12-hour day.
Oh, my man, that is tough. That is tough. Did you get a chance to have dinner, or are you going to be scarfing down some food while you're doing this?
No, I had some dinner while I was working.
All right. Excellent.
Dedication.
Well, yeah. Speaking of a man who I never question his dedication, only his choice in hats. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Timothy Off. Timothy, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I didn't have to work as long as Jesse did, but between work and school, going back to school, it feels like I've been working 12-hour days like Jesse. So, but other than that, doing good. Got some little bit of gaming time before the show with the family, so feeling pretty good.
Nice. Let's talk. So let's in that pocket for a second. You're back to school. How is that going?
It's tough.
All right.
It's tough because it's basically talking about stuff that I'm not that familiar with. I hear it from other areas, IT stuff, I'll say. Like if you ever heard your IT department talk about networks and
Never.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, Jesse, you hear that stuff all the time. You got your own network set up at home. But yeah, I mean, they're teaching me all this stuff crammed into a year's worth of lessons, 450 hours of all this base knowledge of IT, just so I can learn what I'm going to school for, which is cybersecurity.
Wow.
So, and it's harder than it's ramping up essentially. So, I'm trying not to take it for granted that what I used to think was easy things to learn is now things that I definitely have to, go back and take a couple more hours after class and make sure I got it down. So,
yeah. Gotcha. Well, your baseline knowledge of cybersecurity might be a little thin, or at least growing, Tim, but your baseline of Nintendo, parenting, and fun is a high grades. Let's jump in right into the news. Jesse, cue our bumper. And of course, our news is brought to us by you, the wonderful folks over at Patreon, and that is in patreon.com/NintendoDads. Tim, did something happen over on Patreon today or this week?
Yes, this week we actually were able to get another Patreon. Tyler joined us this week.
Hey, Tyler! Round of applause for Tyler! Yay!
We were able to help him get in the Discord and everything. So, always happy to hear when we were able to get somebody in Discord. Not so happy with Patreon and Discord connections, but that's something else entirely. So
that's another day, another project, and another hill for us to climb.
That's a Discord Dad's podcast.
absolutely. But of course, guys, thank you so much to over our 100 Patreon supporters who support us every single month to help keep this crazy dumpster fire on the road and on fire as it does. We greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in $1 a month or whatever you want to give, head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads. That is how we pay the bills.
Or even the Twitch subscriptions get you.
Oh, yes, Twitch subscriptions. Yeah, we absolutely. That's another great way. If you would like to, we also are happy to take your Twitch subscriptions. So,
There's now different tiers that I have to now adjust for. So.
Oh, is there really?
New colors.
Yes. Oh my! I can't.
There's new tiers. You can do tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And I'm like,
oh my God, really?
I saw that in Discord. I'm like, where are these new permission levels at? What is this?
So why do they change things? Either way, we digress. We appreciate it, guys. We got a lot of news to break down today. So let's jump into it. I guess we're gonna start off with I'm gonna call this like the leading story because I feel like this is the really big one that happened, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, the oddly enough unthinkable actually happened. We had another Smash reveal. Now we had a 24-hour notice of this reveal occurring. Again, I think this is kind of Nintendo's MO for these things now. About a 24-hour notice, or it's out today, it's a drop, right? And this was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter announcement for DLC. I guess it's Fighter number 7. This is the second DLC pass. Interestingly enough, I didn't hear a lot of rumors going around about it. I heard people saying, I wonder when it's going to happen, but I didn't hear, didn't appear to be any leaks. And
I think the most rumors I've heard circling around was Crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did hear the Crash rumor, but that was,
Dragon was disappointed it wasn't Crash.
Sure, absolutely, right? But of course, I'm kind of like burying the lead here. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve, Alex, Zombie, and Enderman from Minecraft, from Mojang, from Microsoft, will now be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So let's take a pause here and go around the horn. Tim, what'd you think of this?
As much as we've talked about and dreamt about having Steve, I know several of you guys have talked about it. I know Gary mentioned it as part of his first 5 that he originally thought would be one of those first 5. It still was surprising. It was a very pleasant surprise, and it was like they actually did it. They actually brought in Minecraft into Smash, and that's amazing right there. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, Jesse, what about you?
I was kind of like, no, not that I'm upset, but just I didn't think that one was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
That it happened.
It kind of really shocked me. And I was, I did a live reaction. I was able to stay off of. I watched the video about an hour after it went live. I had some meetings this morning, and I was able to stay off Twitter, so I didn't see it coming. And then I watched it, and like as soon as it was revealed, I was like, no, like they're baiting us, right? They're like it's gonna switch like it did before and some of the other stuff. I would love to understand the business behind this. I would love to understand how this came into fruition, when the conversation began, if there was sort of a we will give you X for Y, and I think the other part of it is last year we talked about the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft and how it kind of felt like in 2020 it kind of went cold, right? Like we got Ori, we got Cuphead. What else did we get from them? I think there was something else, right? But it was kind of like, and there was those rumors about Minecraft Dungeons. There was rumors about Game Pass coming on the Switch. Nintendo and Microsoft seemed to be playing really well together. And then in 2020, it was kind of like quiet. It was just kind of, it was, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Ori and the Will-O-the-Wisps shows up last month, right? Surprise drop a couple weeks ago. And then this shows up. And I think this just to me strengthens that, like, that relationship it's kind of like friends with benefits, right? Like we don't need to be talking all the time, but here we are, right? We're back together for a little bit. And now so I think it's really interesting. Again, I would love to understand the business behind that conversation and how they got it. I think so. Now, Tim, you were saying that couple of our fans were excited about Steve.
A couple of our fans,
or children.
Yes. Well, Dan sent pictures in his Discord about his son. Just so excited about it. He grabbed some boxes around the house and made himself into Steve running around the house. Yeah. And then when my son came home from school, I was down here working, and all of a sudden I just heard him yell out, "Steve!" from upstairs. So I was like, well, he's just watching that. So that was pretty cool to hear. And somebody mentioned I should have probably got his live reaction for that. But
that's okay. Good friend of the show, Bruce Patterson. He says, my kids, Alexander and Sandra Maria, will be so happy to have Minecraft in Super Smash Brothers. Again, I mean, I know that we're not massive fans ourselves of the franchise. As I said in mine, I don't really have anything associated with it. But for a generation of individuals, Minecraft is the biggest game for them, or the biggest game in the world, right? Like it's whatever you think. It's kind of like Fortnite. Whatever you think of Fortnite, whether you like it or dislike it, there is something it has done to the gaming landscape.
Yeah,
Minecraft
was that 10 years ago.
Exactly, right. It is a cultural touchstone.
The millennials, that's where it started with them, because that's where my oldest, was always on the computer playing that when it was first just the beta or whatever they called it. Yeah. So, or even the alpha, but yeah, it's crazy how much it's grown and blown up, and each generation of kids just seems to gravitate towards it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was really, really interesting to see. So a couple things that we do know about it. Now, Sakurai has said that every stage had to have updates.
You didn't read it the way I had it in the notes.
No, I didn't. Sakurai said that every stage had to have updates to allow the ability to drop blocks. Here's the best thing about that. If you guys have not gone and watched the announcement, you can pause this podcast. You can go over, watch the announcement. We'll just go fast forward to Sakurai.
It's like 4 minutes long.
For 4 minutes long, that guy throws shade at Nintendo and like the evil overlord of the boss coming over to the cubicle. Like everything about it made me think of Office Space. Like
exactly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get you to put in Minecraft in Smash. Yes. Yeah.
You're gonna have to come in on Saturday and put in Minecraft.
All right. I thought it was hilarious to watch, but he did talk about every single stage had to be redone for the ability to drop blocks. That is absolutely crazy, right. The amount of work in there. The other interesting thing to be aware of as well is apparently this weekend is Minecraft. There's an event coming on this weekend. I saw it in our Twitch chat too. Minecraftville, Minecraft
Live.
Minecraft Live, Minecraftville. What is that? Minecraft Live is apparently this weekend.
Don't let
on
Zynga
Saturday.
sue you.
Right, I know. And more information will be provided during a stream that will be occurring at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I suspect this is where Sakurai is going to show some more of the gameplay. We may get a release date, because that's one thing we definitely did not get. We did not get a release date on this at all. We just got a reveal.
But usually when they do these drops, it's within a week.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting to see that. Yeah, I don't know. What else? Anything else, guys?
It's exciting for the whole gaming world, I think, just to get Nintendo and Microsoft and Mojang to let them use their characters, bring them in. I'm sure we'll see some reports of how excited they are to be able to be in Smash too.
Yeah.
We always see developers like, we want to be in Smash, and when they get in Smash, you're like, oh my gosh, we're in Smash. So no matter how big the company is, the developers behind those games are always ecstatic about being in the Smash game, and that's something that's really cool to as a fan to be seeing. And I've seen a lot of our community also kind of reciprocate that same type of feeling, where it's like, hey, I might not be into Minecraft or whatever, but I see how big of a deal this is.
So does that mean Smash is the Weird Al Yankovic of the video game industry? Like, if a musician gets parodied by Weird Al, you know he's made it?
Yeah, it could be, right? I mean, I'm sure there is a little bit of that, right? Like, we're popular enough, we're big enough to be in this, right? Like, it is. I mean, we're Nintendo fans, so we're always going to hold that bias. But I think everyone's always talked of like Nintendo or Smash as like the show, right? Like, that's the one you want to be in. There's I don't want to say a level of legitimacy to it, right? But like, it's a big deal. The other thing I think of is, I know that people are thinking like, Min Min was the last one we had, right? And that was a Nintendo character. So everyone's like, oh, well, I guess it's going to be Nintendo, folks, right? I think that this was a wild card. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was like, let me show you what we can do. Yeah. Because I think everyone was expecting Fighter Pass 2 to be a little bit, would be more Nintendo focused as opposed to third party. This kind of blew the doors open. Like, no, we're not done with third parties. Yeah. We're not done with that.
Whenever people think they see a pattern, it gets torn down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been Smash since Brawl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe Melee.
Yeah, right. We got a voicemail from Marty. Is that right, Jesse?
Yeah, but before I do, I just want to mention the name that I wanted you to say that you didn't say in the notes, just for the listeners, so they know what my comment was about. I put Sakurai-sama in the notes, and Justin didn't want to read it that way. So okay,
nope, sure didn't. But I do want to say something. I want to say thank you. Thank you to Solo Something for your Twitch Prime subscription. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, let's play this voicemail from Marty.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Marty. I am so sad that I cannot be with you guys tonight, but I'm sitting here literally less than 10 minutes after the Super Smash Brothers new DLC character reveal of Steve, and I am flipping out. I don't know what you guys have said on the show so far, but if it is anything to the contrary of this is a fantastic addition to the roster, you're all dumb. No, seriously. It's fantastic. I love it. Love the presentation. It was one of the best reveals that they've done in a long time, and I am so excited that we're going to get to find out more and possibly get Steve within the next couple of days as they reveal things at Minecraft Live. But I also want to talk about something else, and it's that Mario 35 is freaking awesome. It is so great. Downloaded it from the Japan account that I have on my Switch, and it is just joy. I love it. It's frenetic. It's fantastic. It's my game of the week. But I will be back on next week's show, episode 300, as we properly and finally bury the Nintendo 3DS and move on to the glorious age of Switch and Switch only. So love to hear the top 10 list as it shakes out. I can't wait for next week. I'm sorry I can't be around with you guys. I hope you had a great show. See you later. Bye-bye.
Well, little did you know, he's at the beginning of the show. So
yeah, exactly. Now that he's out of the way, we're going to have a great show. Yeah, good to hear, Marty. I miss him like I miss my rash. All right, let's continue to move forward. Oh, God bless him. I love him. Yeah, so here's the other thing, crazy funny part. This now means we're going to get a Steve amiibo.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Right? Like,
well, it may not necessarily be Steve. It could be any of the other three,
we're gonna
but
get
it'd likely be Steve.
A Minecraft amiibo.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what this is whatever they do with the Minecraft. I'm hoping it's a 3-pack type thing.
Yeah,
so that would be cool.
Could be. All right, guys, that is Smash Brothers. Let's move on to our next piece of news. You know what I like? My favorite season? Fall. Trees are colored. Trees are changing colors. There's a bit of frost in the air. Got to put on an extra sweater. A little bit of warm cocoa. Oh, and by the way, I'm actually talking about Animal Crossing. Ah, see what I did there? I took a curve. Ladies and gentlemen, the Animal Crossing Autumn Update is out. And this is the Halloween event starting on September 30th. Now, throughout October, you'll be able to collect candy to prepare for Halloween. Pumpkins be planted and grow your own DIY recipes. Costumes will be available for purchase in the Able Sisters shop. There'll be new unnatural colors for both your hair and skin and eyes. And there's a Halloween event that's going to occur from 5 p.m. to midnight. And Jack, the Czar of Halloween, we're going to come back to that because that is a weird statement, will be making an appearance, giving out collected candies to other residents and seeing their costumes. Whew, let's stop there. Animal Crossing, fall update. How you guys doing with this? Who's hyped? Who's jumped in? Who's done it?
Yes. I'm all in, of course. This is all my family plays right now, especially when something new comes out. And I was just telling in the pre-show how much we were playing this before the show. With like talking about school and all that, I finally was able to jump into the Animal Crossing with today's update, and got my pumpkin patches all set up, and ready to grow. I got a whole section of my island just for pumpkins.
Yeah.
And I did some decorating around my house to get ready for Halloween, especially for the new things I'm going to create for Halloween. This is going to be a lot of fun for me for this month, it seems like, because it's kind of like, we'll see, because it's with the fireworks month. That was a lot of fun the first couple weekends. It was just a weekend. But now this one is leading up to Halloween. So where you're doing all this stuff, you're getting ready, you're decorating, and then you're collecting all this candy to be able to pass out on Halloween, which is pretty cool. I think it's a safe way to do Halloween,
Yeah.
with your family and not necessarily have to go trick or treating.
Yeah, visit your friends or your family's island, right? Do some trick or treating that way. I think it's a great idea. I see in the chat here, Solo Something says, "This is my first Animal Crossing Halloween." Me too, Solo Something. I am very, very excited for it. I think this is the update that I have been waiting for. The fall Halloween update I am pumped for. Went in this morning, got my pumpkin patches, went over to Leaf, got my pumpkins for half price, by the way. If Leaf is there, they're half price, as opposed to paying, opposed to Nook's Crannies. Just outrageous. Learning their financial and fiscal responsibility from their uncle. I see those little buggers. So yeah, I got that stuff. Planted my pumpkin patch. Got my skin color, my eye colors done. Grabbed a couple pieces of grabbed a piece of Halloween candy, some costumes, and that's it. You know what?
Did you get a costume on already?
No, I grabbed just a piece of one. I just grabbed ears. Haven't figured out what I want to do yet. Haven't figured out what I want to go for for Halloween yet. My kids absolutely love it. They were
ask how your daughter's thinking about it.
I showed them the update. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" And then the update came out on the 30th. So they updated. I was like, "Yeah, the update is out." And they're like, "This is awesome!" And then it came out actually 29th. Yeah, it came out the 29th, like later in the afternoon.
If anybody's watching, that's
you're
me.
like, oh wow, that is very frightening.
I was watching on YouTube.
Incredibly frightening.
I've got green paint for my skin. I got a Jason mask and an axe. So,
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. So the update actually came on the 29th. So they updated and they run downstairs. They're like, yeah, we're going to play. And they're like, we couldn't find the pumpkins. We couldn't do anything. And I was like, oh, apparently the patch is live and in.
Yes.
But the actual event occurs October 1st. They were a little disappointed, but we got that. Yeah, I mean, they're going to love it. They're absolutely, like, not that they've really fallen off Animal Crossing, but that's just more. To be honest, this is what brought me back. The summer stuff, I was like, all right, but I am really all in on this. Jesse has.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll
Jesse,
mention it after.
Has this pulled you in at all?
No. If I get into a game drought, I might come back and see what's going on. But I think I have enough of a backlog that I got what I needed to get out of it.
Okay.
I was going to ask.
I played like 2 or 3 months, or probably, I think, well, just shy of 3 months during the summer, and I got my fill.
You probably played a lot more than you were expecting, didn't you?
I put more time into this than I did New Leaf, and that was still like 50 or 60 hours.
Okay.
So.
Was it because of the amount of community involvement? Did that help?
I think that helped, yes.
Okay.
Or when I was playing New Leaf, I was literally just playing it by myself.
Right. That does help when everybody else is kind of involved and helping each other out. What I was going to ask you guys, did you guys see what the Dad Crossing crew is doing?
They're holding a contest?
The spectacular competition that they're having.
I saw some images, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, tell me more. Tim.
Yeah, they're doing. They got to submit screenshots of your spooky island and home layouts, and winner gets a $20 eShop voucher. Runner-up bags a $10 eShop voucher. Open to Discord, Twitter, and Instagram at their NDAD Crossing handle, and it's running all October.
Wow, Tim, tell me more about the Dad Crossing podcast. What is that about? It sounds like a podcast focused on Animal Crossing, brought to you by dads. Is that part of the Nintendo Dads network of podcasts that you could find at your local podcast catcher? Tell us more.
Why, yes, it is, Justin. And what you can do is find it on your favorite podcasting channels. No, and they also, not only it's kind of like a play on words, right? So Dad Crossing, obviously, for Animal Crossing, but it's also Dad Crossing because we always come to crossroads for family issues or family problems or just family discussions. So they have a lot of topics revolving around the family. So it's a really good podcast for that type of stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a great addition to our library, and such a great addition to our content. So if you haven't, guys, check out the Dad Crossing. Fantastic. Okay. What were we talking about?
Did you lose your spot?
I did.
Animal Crossing?
Nook Link, that's next.
All right. I'm
excited. They got the Animal Crossing cards coming back out too.
Yeah, sorry. I need to rewind here. Quick question. I'm looking. Was there another Halloween DIY recipe pack, or do I have to go find all that stuff to craft?
There was no. There
was no
DIY
additional
pack.
packages, right?
Right. There's just new things that you'll collect along the way. Like I got one from one of the from the community. They were, how you go in their house and they'll be building something. I got a spooky fence.
Okay.
At my wife's island, somebody was building a. Did I ever forget to get that? But yeah, they were building something else that was spooky related, so you go to different places just like they're building different things, so they're new things you're going to go collect, but it's not a pack, no. So and I'm just looking at the DIYs right now. So
okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, because I'm like, I got all these pumpkins I'm doing. Yeah. Right? I was like, let's go. I want to see some pretty crazy pumpkin stuff.
You're just going to collect new things. Spooky Table is the other one I got.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I got to do some work there.
And it does involve a lot of orange pumpkins.
So it was like the growth cycle of the pumpkin, similar to that of other flowers, where you pick it and then it goes like 2 or 3 days before you can pick it again, or how does that work?
That's a super great question. I think I saw someone in our Twitch or Discord swing by here or fly by with some responses. You get 3 every time you water them every day. Abyssal is saying that. I used gold water can. I hope that's what Isabel was talking about when she said she has extra love.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to water mine. I just
3 pumpkins.
Sure
yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure. I planted all of them. I put some water on them, so I'll check in tomorrow and hopefully we'll see that.
Imbecile says 4 days ago, then you pick them, then they grow back. So kind of like what I was thinking. The way the flowers work.
Yeah.
Good.
So knowing my children, like I have planted, I spent a lot of coin today, planted a big pumpkin patch. And so if I know my children right, when I'm ready to go in and harvest them, they will have beaten me there and taken all my pumpkins.
You should delegate which rows belong to them.
I may have to like have a secret stash pumpkin spot somewhere in the island where they never go to that I'm going to hide my own pumpkins.
If it was my kid, they probably would shovel up, dig them up and move it on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? With the game, as much as we've laughed about it before, but like resource management when it's one island and a shared family is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Who took all the cherries? I need the cherries. I need the cherries to do,
Right.
build something. You guys said you're monsters. I had a whole. Okay, let me go on a rant here. I had a whole not palm tree, but like bamboo section set up. It was really nice. It was just bamboo, and then I brought up like a solar panel. I'm going to be honest. If the Dad Crossing guys were come doing a tour, they'd be like, "This place is looking good, Justin. Congratulations, well done." I'm feeling good about these decisions. I put up like a lifeguard station down by the beach, feeling good, feeling responsible, strutting around the island. Come back 5 days later, solar panels gone, as is the lifeguard station, completely gone. And when I asked them who took it, they all went, "No, it doesnno't just magically disappear. You had to take
one
them."
of the villagers.
I'm like, yeah. I didn't see Tom Nook walking up that hill destroying my solar panel station. It was some weird peaceful protest.
Maybe it's that new villager Pyro.
All right, let's get on. Let's move on before Justin.
Sorry.
Blows a gasket
Also, just because I know my children listen to the show, you're both monsters. You're both absolute monsters.
Just in time for Halloween.
Yeah. All right. So before I lose it, what else are you saying was happening, Tim, in Animal Crossing we need to be aware of?
They're bringing back the Animal Crossing series cards. They're bringing those back. So I don't know what's going to do for the value for a lot of these cards that a lot of people sell on eBay, but those amiibo cards that they were selling before, they're bringing them back out. So I imagine you're going to see a lot of people getting stocking stuffers with these.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I don't think they're adding adding any new ones. It's just that no update or anything. It's just more series 1 to 4 restocking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Reprinting them, whatever you want to call it.
Couple other things to make sure you're aware of for the Animal Crossing or Animal Crossing specific. The Nook link. There was an update that's planned for early October where reactions can be triggered from the app, including a new reaction which is called Haunt. And there is another update planned for late November. And it looks from the kind of the key art that was displayed, seems to highlight or to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. Of course, if you're Canadian, the actual Thanksgiving, the true Thanksgiving that North Americans should be celebrating is in early October 12th this year. Not this weird kind of gluttony that is the end of November with the United States. But whatever, I digress. We'll let that be.
Animal Crossing agrees with us.
We're right, you're wrong.
The whole world is wrong. Canada's right, apparently.
Yes. Yes, we are. But we won't brag about it. But we'll just say,
Too late.
Look at, you guys are okay too, eh?
Well, you guys can brag about Toys R Us, which we found out earlier today in our Discord. So
you still have one?
They still have Toys R Us over there. Yeah, I thankfully can go there. I just have to go over the bridge.
I'm gonna be honest, there's nothing to really brag about. It's there. It's nothing to write home about here, folks.
Oh yes, there is. Believe me, you'll miss it if it was gone.
Will I?
The only place to buy your overpriced toys.
Yeah, right. Is it me or like Toys R Us has a distinct smell? Do you know what I mean? If you've been to like a Toys R Us, there is a smell about them.
Yep, you go in there and you go, Toys R Us.
Yeah, but like there's a very distinct
Toys R Us
That's
not
smell.
the reaction I usually get.
So, I don't know. All right. Anything else we want to chat about for Animal Crossing?
I think that covered all of my points.
You're master of the dock. Master of the dock. Another announcement came out this week from Nintendo, actually more specifically the Pokemon Company, where they provided an update on the Sword and Shield expansion pack 2, the Crown Tundra. Did either of you guys watch this presentation?
I watched it because I made notes, but but I don't play the DLC. I never got past the 3rd or 4th gym, so
okay.
But
Okay.
I still followed it.
Yeah, Tim.
I've learned a hard lesson this past year
Oh.
in regards to Pokemon. As much as I want to play it, I've learned I've never finished a Pokemon game, and I never will. So, and I so wanted to play this one. It's just so many other games to play.
Yeah.
That just no. And these expansion passes look so awesome. It's like it's like, oh, I want to get them. I have the game. It's just like, nope. I'm trying to learn what I'm actually going to take time to play and play them. And unfortunately, all I can say is it looks awesome, and if I had the time, I would definitely play it.
Okay. Well, let's break down some of that awesomeness that you might want to be playing in the future. So expansion pass number 2, which is the Crown Tundra. So this is a real focus on kind of like the Arctic tundra, if you would. Explore new areas and meet new NPCs. Dynamax Adventures lets you form a party of 4 to explore caves with Dynamax Pokemon. Jesse, that 4 parties that was online or local, is that right?
I don't know.
Do you remember? Okay, that's fair. I appreciate you only doing half your job for these notes.
You're welcome.
Well, that's great. Thank you. Don't anticipate a question. Just why would you need to? That's fine. All right. All previous legendaries and mythics will now be available. Now, I heard a lot of this. This seemed to be the thing that people were excited about. Jesse, why is this exciting? As a person who doesn't really give a darn about Pokemon.
One of the things that people were upset about the whole Dex Gate, when the base game only had a fraction of the national Dex, was that there were no legendaries. Okay. So this is why, because we get them now.
So I'm going to pretend like I know Pokemon for a couple of moments here. So play along. Does this mean that once the legendary patch or the patch is put in for legendary, so when this comes out, that if you had a legendary from another game, could you in theory then transfer this into this game without having an issue?
Yes.
Oh, look at me. Look at me play along to this game, right?
If it exists in the game's Dex, you can import it from home.
Okay, so you should be okay. So that's okay. So that would be a big thing, right? Because people trade or move along their legendaries. Now again, we're only talking the legendaries and mythics, right? Mythicals. People collect them, right? And they go along for a while, so that's a big deal,
right?
Okay, so did we know this before, or was it teased?
We knew that they were going to the Gen 1's legendaries. Articuno, Zapdos, Articuno were getting Galarian forms, but we didn't at that time know that all the legendaries from all the generations. Though I don't know about Mew. Mew is usually a special case in that he's really protective. Like you can only get him if you get the Pokeball Plus. But all of the other mythicals I know are there. Like they showed the 3 fairy trios from Gen 3. They showed a lot of them. Most of which I only know because of Pokemon Go, because I didn't play Gen 5. I didn't play most of Gen 6.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of things here. Galarian Star Tournament, team up with another trainer NPC from Sword and Shield's main game or expansion pass. And the expansion pass and all this will be coming out on October 22nd. So you don't have to wait very long. I was actually shocked, and I shouldn't say shocked. I was almost expecting them to tease an expansion pass number 3 to build on it some more. I don't know why. I just thought that feels like something they could do, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It's possible. They, just like the Smash DLC, they originally committed to 5, and they gave us 5 and said, "Oh, by the way, we're committing to 6 more."
Yeah, we can keep going, right? So I mean, I think, and again, Jesse, keep me honest here. This is the best-selling Pokemon game to date right now, right? From a sales number, I'm pretty sure.
I think Gen 1 still might have it beat, but
Okay,
it's up
but
there.
It's definitely up there. It's doing incredibly well on Nintendo's MPC or MPD numbers. If I remember correctly, placed 4th, I believe, 3rd or 4th.
I'd have to
when
look.
you add them together, when it's add the Sword and Shield.
Yeah,
together,
NPD
it's
numbers
doing
are
really
weird
well.
in that they don't group them up like Nintendo does.
Yeah, but there's the Pokemon this game's chapter, if you would, is doing very well. I know that for sure. And obviously, if you can get people to buy more, you will, right? And I think the conversation has always been, when can you move Pokemon to games as a service almost, right? When can you have a longer tail to it than just I finished it? And I think they've done that very well, because so often, it can be a challenge. Now, the other thing I do want to maybe just lean into before we come back to this quick conversation, that there is also a Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. And
You said, I knew you were going to stumble on that one.
Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Sword expansion pass and Pokemon Shield expansion pass game and DLC bundle, which is coming out on November 6th. Looks like Amazon has some pre-order links up at a price of $89.99 USD. This is, talk about a banger of a time to be dropping an Ultimate Edition, if you would, version of Pokemon.
And this is going to be the version on shelves during holiday season.
Yeah.
And these will still count as the same SKU. In previous generations, when they've added the third or fourth game, they've been separate SKUs, so they count separately in the game sales. But this will count together with the original launch last year.
Right.
Yeah, and this is the spot on time for it too. Do you know what I mean? November, and I think this is the funny part, because I was thinking before, I was like, ooh, is Age of Hyrule enough for their kind of like their holiday game to really generate those sales? Sure, it's Zelda, sure, it's Breath of the Wild, sure, all those kind of things. Oh, there it is. There's Pokemon. Okay, cool. You're fine. Like
the annual Pokemon game that comes out.
Yeah, you will be absolutely fine.
And Red, Green, Blue is sold 31 million copies, 31.38 million copies.
Sorry, say it again?
Red, Green, Blue, first Gen 1,
Yeah.
sold 31.38 million copies worldwide.
Okay.
So is that counting yellow separate from that counts? Or does that include yellow too?
It doesn't say yellow here.
Okay, yellow might be a different SKU then.
Oh wait, no, that is a different SKU. Yellow Special Pikachu Edition was 14.64 million.
And then,
so 45 million total for Gen 1.
Yeah, it's pretty. And that's the thing, right? If anyone knows anything about Gen 1 is what actually revived, or I shouldn't say revived, but gave life to keep the Game Boy going for almost, I think the run of the Game Boy was nearly 10 years because of Pokemon. It was during the wind down phase, and Pokemon just gave it a shot of energy.
If you include
and
Game
life.
Boy Color as the half step, which I think people has universally agreed on, the Game Boy had a 12-year life cycle before Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it's
88
amazing,
to 90 or something 88 to 2000. That's the math.
It's these, I would say the synonymousness or the association with Nintendo handheld and Pokemon. Those games just smash together all the time perfectly. And so when people are like, oh, I want a home console Pokemon game, sure, but the numbers would say that the handheld Pokemon is where it is, right? That kind of enterprise, that connection together works so well. So yeah, I think it's interesting.
So one of the sites, the VG Sales sites, they have numbers for the whole gambit of Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, which includes Fire Red and Leaf Green generations in the GBA, and then the Red, Green, Blue, Yellow digital sales in the 3DS.
Wow.
All the sales together is 59.52 million for the Red, Green, Blue, Yellow generation.
Yeah.
Compared to right now, Sword and Shield is at 18.22 since the last report.
Yeah, and you've been out for less than a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Again, hot game, like a hot console.
Yes.
And
then re-releasing this with the whole gambit on the physical.
Yeah, like it's just gonna be making money. It's been making bank. Jesse, I see here in the about Ash's hat. What is going on here?
Okay.
I'm so confused.
So over the next, I don't know how long it'll take, but they said they're releasing 8 special Pikachu, each with a different hat, one from each generation of the trainers. What they wore in canonically, and the first 2 are available. They're calling it I didn't write those down. It was like original hat Pikachu and then something else. But so it's the 8 different Pikachu with a specific hat, and you get them by putting in a code that they'll be distributing over time. They announced the first code during that direct, and then since then a second code has been revealed from somewhere. Not sure where it came from. I was just found out this is another code. So then the other 6 will be revealed later. The first code. Go ahead.
So is this to get a Pokemon, or is this to get an avatar outfit in the game?
I think it's a separate Pokemon with a hat that's separate from any other Pikachu. Oh. So like
8 different Pikachus.
Yeah. So if you have 150 Pikachu or 150 Pokemon in your bank, and you redeem a code, you'll now have 151. It's a new Pokemon. So you'll get a total of 8 new Pikachu if you redeem all of these, each with a unique hat.
These were the things I loved about playing when I did play Pokemon for a little bit, was going to the stores, getting these free items, or downloading the free gifts. And then,
back then you had to go to a GameStop or a Best Buy and be within their local Wi-Fi range to get it. Right. But now it's just, here's a code, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's a little bit easier. But yeah, back then it was like, you just go there and download it and get the gift and whatever. But that was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun too because it was a little bit of a family game with my kids. But now my kids aren't into it, so that's probably why I don't play it as much.
That's fair.
So the 2 codes that are known, the first is Pikachu Get, all capitals, but the I is a 1. So P1 Kachu Get. And the other, well, you're welcome. The other is I Choose You, again, Pikachu. All caps, with the I is a 1 and the O's are zeros.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're looking forward to 6 more convoluted codes like that.
Yeah, I'm popping in the game right now. I'm gonna go do this. Right, this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. Probably not. All right, well that's interesting. Also, Pokemon Home, Jesse. Tell me more about Pokemon Home.
So Pokemon Home will get an update that will finally allow Pokemon Go Pokemon to be transferred directly into Home, and then once it's there, it can go into Sword and Shield and back and forth. But once it's in Home, it can't go back into Go. The process will be similar to what the connectivity was between Go and the Let's Go games, where you have pair the devices, and then instead of it being a trade, I think it's just a give. When you do the give, the Pokemon Go device will get the mystery box, which will, when you open up, will spawn Meltan, just like the Let's Go games. So none of that is different from that point of view. So in addition to doing that, the first time you transfer a Pokemon from Go into Home, you'll also get a Melmetal in Home that is capable of Gigantamaxing if you send it into Sword and Shield. And that release is no date other than before the end of the year has been declared for that update.
You guys can't see me, but my legs are bouncing. Like, I want to play this. I want to do this stuff. But I just don't have the time, because this is the stuff I loved about Pokemon, is just doing these things, putting in the codes, getting the gifts, or, you had the Pokemon Bank at one time, and being able to download stuff and trading, and then you get gifts for that. And just getting
this of course all requires a subscription to Home. If you don't have one, you have to set that up.
Yes. So it's...
What was that, like $15 a year now?
It was something ridiculous.
It was an increase over... It was an increase over Bank.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't remember what the cost was.
Yeah, but those things I think are great, and I always said Pokemon Home is the national dex. I think.
Yeah.
So that's where I think they're making it there. So even though you can't get them all in the same game, you just use Home, and that's your national dex.
And then you'll be able to presumably move them into the next game when that comes out, once that ability is open.
Yeah.
So
Put
usually
them all there in Home.
they usually wait a few months before they turn on that functionality, so you don't just flood a new game with level 100 Pokemon and wreck house.
So 1 month, 30 days in Nintendo eShop price is $3. 3 months, 90 days is $5, and a 12-month subscription is $16.
Oh, so actually more than I thought.
So yeah, $15.99 for 12 months for the Pokemon Home premium plans. And you get difference between basic. Basic is moving Pokemon from Pokemon Bank is unavailable. With premium, it's available. Number of Pokemon that can be deposited is 30 in basic and 6,000 in premium. Number of Pokemon that can be
that's
placed.
where your national dex is in the subscription.
Yes. Number of Pokemon that can be placed in the Wonder Box at once is 3 for basic, 10 for premium. Number of Pokemon that can be placed in the GTS at once is 1 Pokemon in basic and 3 Pokemon. Room trade is participate, and premium is participate and host. And then last is judge function, which is unavailable for basic, but premium has it available. So anybody on the fence for premium plan or really into the Pokemon Home thing, like I said, if I was playing this, I'd probably be paying the premium plan. And I don't even see if there's like a family plan. That's just it. I don't
think there is, and that likely has to be paid. That likely has to be paid per account.
Yes. That sucks. That
would
have sucked, I should say.
No, I would say maybe if you own Sword and Shield, you have to pay in both, but no, because that's paid on the device, not on the game.
Correct. Yeah, the account.
Sorry, just a quick update. I got them both now.
Nice.
Got them both.
Did we stall enough for you to be able to do
You
that?
did, thank you. Guys, that was riveting stuff. Really on the edge of my seat the entire way.
So something congratulates you.
I know, he's such a good person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I greatly appreciate that.
Well, there's still even more Pokemon stuff, though.
Still more Pokemon stuff? Tim, tell me more.
Well, this is the part I think Jesse knows more about. Is Pokemon Go updates, temporary bonuses and stuff.
Yeah, so with Pokemon Go in March, added a bunch of temporary bonuses to help make it easier to play from home and to socially distance, because they didn't want people crowding around gyms and whatnot. So starting today at 1 o'clock Pacific time, they've relaxed those temporary bonuses.
Oh.
So the hatch distances are returned to normal as they were before. They were half distance. Where am I reading this? Okay, the increased effectiveness of incenses will now apply only when walking. So it used to be where you can trigger an incense and sit on your couch and just get an endless supply. Now you actually have to move around.
Chumps.
Your buddy Pokemon will now bring you
I have
gifts.
to get off the couch now, Doctor.
Yeah. Your buddy Pokemon will now bring you gifts only when you have nearly run out, and will only happen once a day, where before it would give you gifts every few hours if you sent them. And then spinning Pokestops will no longer guarantee a gift. It's still a probability of doing so. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know it was a guaranteed if you had room in your inventory, so that really doesn't affect me much. Most of the times I'm stuck with max inventory anyway, because I don't send them out as often as I should. The bonuses that they started in March that they're keeping, and will keep from here on out, so no longer temporary. The maximum number of gifts you can carry in your item bag is 20. It used to be 10. You'll continue to receive 3 times the Stardust and XP for the first Pokemon caught each day. Again, I didn't even know they did that, so that's nice to know. And incense duration will remain at 60 minutes. It used to be 30.
Cool.
All right.
Nothing was said regarding the increased radius to interact with stops and gyms. I hope that maintains, because that's very handy. Because there's some places where if I drive as close as I can, but still have to get out of the car and walk closer. That because of the extended radius, I can just stay in my car and do it.
Gotcha. Cool. Anything else big from the Pokemon Go world we need to know about?
I have events we could talk about, or we can do that after, in the normal event slot.
Well, why don't you? Sure. Let's go through our stuff.
All right, let me hit the bumper.
Okay.
That did end the news segment, so we're going to move on to one thing or another. All right,
good.
So
good to move on.
What's
our moving on thing here, Jesse?
Okay, there are 2 Pokemon Go events. The first is the Community Day that will feature Charmander, which was the second place vote that they voted last month. It'll be October 17th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. And like in previous Community Days, they'll have a 99-cent purchase you can do to give you access to Community Day exclusive special research story called A Tale of Tales that will give you rewards for the story, including Charizard Mega Energy. And the second event is they're giving away free remote passes every week starting October 5th, ending November 30th. So if you have to have, in order to claim it, you have to have less than 3 remote passes in your inventory. If you have 3 or more, you have to use them before you can claim it. The game will give you a week to claim the free one, but if you don't claim it in a week, when the next one starts, you'll lose the first one. So they'll be doing that for the next 8 weeks. So if you continue to play, you can get 8 free Pokemon raid passes, as long as you continually use them.
Cool. That it? That all?
That's it for the events.
On the edge of my seat the entire time.
I bet
paid
you
for
were.
the whole thing. Just need the edge. Thank you, sir.
So speaking of edge, did you want to talk about your top 10 3DS games that we discussed last
sure.
week? And
I was absent
conspicuously
last week.
absent for.
I like to let our guests wonder, or our fans wonder and speculate the entire week, being like, I wonder what it's going to be, right? So yeah, the question was, what are my top 10 games on the Nintendo 3DS? So going from number 10 to number 1. Coming at number 10, I said Codename Steam was my number 10. Number 9, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. Tipping Stars. A lot of fun with that
I
one.
think you were probably the only person to say that game. Maybe one other, but
I'm sure nobody else probably remembered that game, but I really enjoyed it. They were
I did not like that game.
fun little puzzle games. I liked them. Believe it or not, I am a puzzle person sometimes, except for Picross, which can go straight to HE double hockey sticks. Moving on to number 8.
Yeah, speaking of games that I didn't think you'd say.
You didn't think I'd say Mario and Luigi's Paper Jam?
I did not.
I actually rather enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good game. I enjoyed it a fair bit.
That was another one I forgot about.
Going into number 7, I have down, and this, I'm going to be very honest with you, this is number 7 because of our community. And that is Mario Golf World Tour. I remember when we had, there was people in our Discord or one of our line chats or something that had like a code that you could log in. We could play against each other for a week.
It was actually a cross thing between us and Nintendo Shack.
That's right. Yeah.
Nintendo Shack. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was absolutely great. Had a ton of fun with that.
I don't remember this, but okay.
Okay. The only reason I bought that game, and it was on sale, was to participate in that. And I really, really enjoyed it. Number 6, my first mainstream Pokemon Sun. Moving into number 5, Metroid Samus Returns.
No. It's
Metroid.
You had Metroid.
Metroid. I did see that. I assumed that was someone else's error, not mine.
I don't remember. I don't know if it was mine or yours, but it's corrected now.
Right,
Okay,
Metroid
whatever.
Samus Returns. I thought this was absolutely great as well. Coming in at number 4, because I did not play it on the Nintendo 64 when it originally came out. This was my first experience with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. And so that was just a real gem of an opportunity to come back to that. And it was interesting. People were saying, like, this is kind of like the definitive edition, the best way to play it. And it was such a cool experience. And I really enjoyed it. I also have Majora's Mask on the 3DS, as not yet played. But it was, again, one of those, like, it was like a banger of a sale. Like, it was like $20. And I was like, yes, because I missed that. I need to add it. Coming in at number 3, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I absolutely adore, as you know, the Luigi's Mansion franchise for all of its imperfections. I enjoy it and a ton of fun, and I thought it was such a great use of the 3D as well. I thought they used a great use. Coming in at number 2, Super Mario 3D Land. So much fun, so accessible. It just reminds me of how much just 3D Mario is awesome. Just love it. Like when they do Mario well, and this is you know, I think everyone's shocked that I'm like, yeah, I'm not super like clamming for Super Mario 3D World when it comes out. But I loved 3D Land. 3D World was good too, but like this is just absolutely adored it.
Yeah, I was telling the guy, sorry, before you get to your number 1, I'll mention this last week when I was saying that I wished when they re-released 3D World that they would have added 3D Land as part of that package for the Switch.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree. That would have been pretty stellar. And coming in at number 1, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Speaking of a game that used the 3D exponentially fantastic. Absolutely adored it. Here's the crazy part. I absolutely love that game. Have a cartridge, finished it. I have no idea where that cartridge is right now. It is not in the spot I would normally have it, because I was like, I should go check my my game cases, and I'm like, why? Where is this game? I don't know where it is, but it was such a fantastic game. Absolutely adored it. Those are my top 10 3DS games. The other thing I would say, there were so many. I looked at my machine. There were so many indie games that I had. The other part I would say about the thing, and I know that we're not swan-songing it yet, the 3DS was also where I got exposed to some Super Nintendo games that I didn't get exposed to originally. That's the first place I played Earthbound, was on the 3DS during one of our retro rewinds. We have to remember, like, that console had so many great, like, eShop, you know, hey, here's a Super Nintendo. Like, there were so many, and there's so many great indie games on there as well, right? I think of games like Mutant Mudds. Man, Mutant Mudds or Zeo Drifter in 3D, man, that feels good. That looks great. There's the Gunvolt games, like just a ton of fantastic games in there to play. So yeah.
Yeah, I had Moon on my list. The Moon Chronicle games.
Yeah.
I love those games.
Yeah. That is my list of games. So we're gonna. Thank you. Now, Jesse, we got more to reveal next week on our games, right?
Yeah, so the last week we asked our listeners, our patrons and our Twitch subscribers to give us their personal top 10 lists, and I'm aggregating them all into one big list, and then we'll reveal that next week with episode 300 for the official Nintendo Dad's Top 10.
Perfect. Excellent. Very, very excited. Okay. All right. What's next on our agenda here? What have we been playing? So it looks like there is a game that we have all been playing jointly, and that is Mario 35, or Super Mario Bros. 35. And I know that Marty mentioned that as well. Do we want to kind of just have a group chat about that one, and then we'll break into what we've been playing on a quick high level?
Sounds good to me.
Jesse, let's go over to you. You did a live stream of it yesterday for almost 2 hours, actually.
Almost 2 hours last night, and it confused a lot of people when they hop into the chat and says, "I don't see it. How did you get it?"
Yeah.
And then I must have said at least 20 times that, and it was even in the video's description.
Yes.
That dinner time last night was Thursday morning in Japan. So the game launched in Japan, so I have a Japanese account and I know how to use it.
There you go.
Better watch out. You know
Right.
how to use it.
So, and I already had a thumbnail prepared because if I didn't, I was planning on doing a live stream either today or tomorrow. But I'll do it a day early. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun. Just like Tetris 99. I thought it was really fun. Then that newness finally wore off, and it got to a point where I only played during theme season. So I wouldn't surprise me if at some point I'm like, this is getting old, and and I even mentioned in the stream, I wonder if they're gonna have alternate characters, like have a Daisy running around stomping Goombas, or a Toad, or something else to mix it up. Something that's you can then unlock, keep, and reuse later.
Yeah.
So they already have the ability to earn these still icons that show up by your name at the end of a match, and I don't know how many I've unlocked, maybe 15 or 20 of them. So so there's a little bit of customization, but so far not a lot. Then so at one point there was they have two modes. The normal 35 game where you're able to, it's kind of like Mario Kart, where you vote for the course you want, and then of all the votes, it'll randomly pick which one you're running. I think that's how it works. So I think that's what it did here. So like the ones that it gives you your initial access to 1-1 through 2-2. So you can pick any of those. As you somehow get access into other levels, and when you complete them, then they become selectable in your pool as well. So I was able to unlock up to through 2-4. I think I beat 2-4. I don't remember. I know I got the 2-4 at one point, but that didn't last long. I'll explain why in a little bit. And then you also have the choice to start with one of many power-ups, which costs coins that you've collected into your account. I normally start with the Fire Flower at spend 50 coins. So as long as I collect at least 50 coins, then I'm balancing out. So most of the time you'll start with 1-1, but sometimes it switches around. When you've beat the level, then you are warped into a random other level. Doesn't necessarily go in order, and the transitions are fast. You don't see him jump off the flagpole, walk into the castle, wait for fireworks. No, as soon as you're on the ground from hitting the flagpole, boom, you're running into the next stage, and that caught me off guard the first time. Excuse me. There was other things I wanted to say, but I wanted to play it before the show, and I didn't get a chance to. So the things I wanted to talk about are escaping me. When you do win the first time, it unlocks a ranking. It shows you a pyramid ranking S down to E, and it compares your gold collected against other people's gold collected of those who's won the game. And at first I was 1,300, 1,200. And I looked this morning expecting to beat bottom, but it turns out I was completely unranked, so I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, but what I think happens is as you're playing, you see a treasure chest on the bottom that starts with 0. I think as people get eliminated, some or all of their coins goes into that pool. And then if you win, you keep your coins plus what was in the pool. So I ended up winning twice and got like 550 the first time and almost 400 the second time. I've seen other people get over 1,000 coins just in one game. So it's kind of random because it depends on not only how well you do, but how well all 35 of you do.
Sure.
Okay. And then the second mode is a special mode that looks like it only runs for a week, and it'll probably cycle in with new rules. So with this one, it starts you off with, I think, the Super Mushroom power-up and 30 coins. And other than that, everything's the same. So you don't get to pick anything. You don't even get to pick the starting stage. That's always random. Then the other thing, which hasn't been mentioned yet, when you take out an enemy, it gets sent to another person's game. And so by the end of the game, you have 35 players worth of Goombas crammed into 3 people playing. So it's a lot of Goomba all around. So that's one of the
Fire
game.
flower comes in handy at that time.
Yeah, or if you can get a turtle shell and just knock them all out.
Yes.
I think I hit a superstar and was able to take out 36 enemies with it in one shot.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look in the stats, it'll give you some of that information.
Sure.
You would have never thought to track. And then as you have an initial time limit, as you defeat enemies, it adds time. If you get a 1-up mushroom, it gives you 20 coins instead because you only have 1 life. And what else? So then, like, if you fireball an enemy, you only get 1 second, but if you stomp them, you'll get 2. And if you can like chain stomps, then it'll go 2, 3, 4. So you'll get more for performing the combos. So the one that I thought was funny was a level 2-4, a Bowser stage that has no enemies in it besides Bowser. So there's no way to earn time. So if you're not fast getting to Bowser, you will be stuck with other Bowsers in your screen at inappropriate times that you have to deal with while your time's running out because you had no opportunity to refresh it. And my time went to 0 before I could defeat the Bowser that I needed to defeat.
Gotcha. Tim, how has it been for you? How are you liking this game?
So when I was watching Jesse do it, I was like, oh, you got it from the Japanese side. So that's when I downloaded it too while he was playing his on stream. And I started playing a few rounds, and I didn't get into it as much as Jesse, and I certainly don't remember as much as he does. But just jumping into the few rounds I did, it was definitely addictive. And if it wasn't for being tired, because I just finished class yesterday, I probably would have played more, because it is one of those things. Oh, I'll just play one more. I'll just play one more type of thing, and
I did that exact thing last night.
Like,
I said, okay, this is my last game, so before I even stop, I got 27th place. I'm like, oh, screw that. I might have taken one more turn, and I got 4th.
Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun, just even when you're starting off, and it's like it is not. It may seem like overwhelming at first, but as soon as you jump in, it seems pretty easy to get the hang of and jump right into. I mean, you may not get number 1 right away unless you're used to playing Mario games as much as that, but it was fun. It was fun to get through, and like I said, it wasn't scary. It was. Like Tetris can seem really overwhelming when you play Tetris 99.
And people who are good at Tetris are really good.
Yeah.
Where there isn't much difference between a good person and a great person with Mario. It's a Mario game.
Right.
Yeah.
So it seemed like it could be anybody has a chance to play this and actually get good. So get number 1.
Then Tetris 99 that has daily tasks to get additional content.
Oh yeah, yes.
Mario 35 has daily tasks as well that gives you coins. I think up to 600 per day. It's a 100 task, a 200 task, and a 300 task maybe. Might be 50, 100, and 300. But
nice.
That was fun. That was fun too to see those tasks. I like tasks in games.
And those tasks only work on the normal game, not the special mode. So when I played last night, I started with the special mode, noticed that my daily tasks weren't moving up. So I played the normal.
I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. Just playing with the Pro Controller. I think someone was saying like either playing with the Super Nintendo controller or playing with the actual NES Joy-Con or NES Joy-Con controller.
I didn't even think about using the NES controller.
So
I used the Joy-Con, and that threw me off at first. That was the only thing that threw me off, was using the Joy-Con, and I was getting ready to use the stick.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh nope, you got to use the D-pad.
There is an option to change it to the stick if you want to.
Okay.
And
it worked out better anyways using the D-pad.
Yeah, you don't want to use the stick in a game like this. No. And then you also have the ability to change which buttons are your run and jump. You can either choose Y and B or B and A, depending on how you want to orient your thumb.
Very nice. So yeah, it is out now. Check it out. And again, there's a live stream of Jesse playing. You can check it out. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My only hope for Nintendo is that they decide to allow it to stay beyond the end of March when they're supposed to pull it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That is a limited.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun so far.
Speaking of not pulling games, Jump Rope apparently didn't get delisted like they said they would.
Yeah, exactly. It was that may be an indication that maybe Nintendo's heard feedback about maybe just leaving it on there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of March. But get a chance, guys. Again, you have
Zelda
Nintendo
35.
Switch. Yeah, you have Nintendo Switch. If you have Nintendo Switch Online, folks, it's a free download. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. You should try it. Jesse, you have down here Mario's Super Picross.
Yeah, I talked about it a little last week. I thought that there was only like 4 levels of Mario and 4 levels of Wario, and I thought that was it. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a quick game. I'll have it done this weekend. And nope. When I finished level 4, it unlocked 5, 6, and 7 on both sides. So okay, that's 6 more levels, and each level has 12 puzzles. Then I finished level 7s, and nope, that was 8, 9, and 10. So I don't know how far it goes. I think I'm probably getting near the end. So I have all the Warios done from 1 to 10, except for one puzzle on 9 I get stumped with. I might have to cheat to find a solution to get that to move on. And I finished somewhere in the middle of level 9 on Mario's side. See, I don't like doing the Mario side because it forces you to have the autocorrect if you make a mistake, which gives you a time penalty. And I don't like that. I'd rather... so I prefer the Wario side where there is no time limit and there is no autocorrect. So if you just make a mistake and end up into an impossible situation, I say give up, reload it, and start over. And hopefully you don't make the same mistake twice. And I have made the same mistake 4 times at one point, and it wasn't until the 5th attempt before I finally solved one particular puzzle. So even though it says I solved it in 18 minutes, I probably spent an hour and a half on that puzzle.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. Very cool. Tim, what you been playing?
Well, we talked about the Super Mario Bros. 35, and we mentioned a little bit of Animal Crossing. I dove into that with the family today, especially since you could do more things today, being the 1st of October. So I just dove right in, got the paint for the face and the hair, the unnatural colors, I think they called it.
Well, I called it that. I don't know what they called it.
Well, that makes perfect sense. The unnatural colors. So I was playing around with that, and my able sisters had like they call it, I think it was ratty clothes outfit to make it look like I was a zombie. So I had that, and then I already had the Jason mask, so I was just like rolling with it. And had a lot of fun, just creating some scary character in Animal Crossing, and we were already having fun with it. My wife, she created a blue version of herself that we were cracking up at. Because when we use the wand, yeah, like the Smurf, but we have our wands where we have different, some of these outfits we've created that's been our favorite over time that we have in our wands. And we were testing out these, since we had these new eye colors and face paint that we have on, or skin color, that we're seeing what we look like in these new, in our old outfits. And just hers were actually cracking us up because she was blue like a Smurf. And there was one that she really looked like a Smurf, and she actually changed hers to where she was blue and had that one buck tooth in the front. It was just hilarious. So we had a lot of fun with that, like I said, and it seems like going forward through the month, just collecting the candy for Jack and Halloween to pass out the candy by that time, and then collecting all the different pumpkins, all the different colors that are going to come out, and be able to do all the different DIYs for the things that we're going to build. I'm looking forward to having fun with that, decorating, especially around my house for the holiday, and maybe the rest of the other spots of the rest of the island too. So I can't wait to see what other things come with the Halloween decorations. So having a lot of fun with that. I'm sure I'll be talking about that more next episodes going forward. The other game that I mentioned last week that I was going to jump into, and I did over that weekend during the live stream, was Twin Breaker. It is a brick breaking game. It's made for a co-op game, actually, but you can play it single player, which I did. Jesse stopped by too for a moment when I was playing it, but when I was streaming it, you're using both the Joy-Con sticks to control both the platforms to, deflect the ball to break the bricks with. And that was mind-blowing for me because I'm not ambidextrous, so I'm sitting there trying to get comfortable with trying to move and coordinate both these platforms to get the ball that would bounce over to the right side of the screen or the left side of the screen, and make sure I don't miss it when it comes back down on that side. And then not only that, when the ball was coming down, you also could get power-ups or multipliers, or even, I don't know, what would you call something that was the opposite of a power-up? You could also
debuff?
get that, I guess a debuff, where it would actually shrink your bar that would, that bounces, the ball bounces off of. That was one of them. Or there would be almost like Galaxia bugs that would fly down from the sky almost once you busted a brick. There would be these bugs that would come and damage your ship, because your bars are actually ships that bounce the ball off, and the ball is actually one of your weapons that you've developed. This goes along with the story that you read a lot about at the beginning before you even can start the game. And I was telling these guys in the pre-show how much it was going and going and going just for a brick breaking game. But that's part of the hilarity of it all, is just being able to how much of a story they put behind it, that you're these two guys who have way in the future. And by the way, the story was written by, was it Chris Moriarty, who does podcasts?
Colin Moriarty?
Colin Moriarty. The story was written by him, so I thought that was interesting as well. But anyways, it's like these two guys from Earth who were sent off into space because of Earth was trying to go out to space to colonize some other areas, and there's a whole story behind it. I won't go into it, but go watch the stream if you can, and it's pretty long too. So, but have it play in the background. I try to read it off, and I had fun with that too. I tried to do it in different voices when I was reading.
Nice.
That was funny.
Everything. Try to make it fun and interesting, and then again, you find out that you're flying these brick bouncing or these ball bouncing ships. The platform, they're ships, and then one of the power ups is actually.
I liked the name of the ships. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but they were clever.
Oh yes, that's true. They were. I'll have to look that up, but oh geez, now
I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Okay. So, but one of the power-ups you get is you can actually get guns for those platforms, and it'll actually shoot out those bricks. There's actually a part where I got to start off with start off the stage with the guns, and I was just shooting the bricks before I could launch the ball. So I got rid of a lot of the bricks. Looks like you found the name, Jesse.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes, sir. Each ship, yeah. Greetings and salutations.
Yes.
So, but again, I like that the story. There's a story behind it. It makes it interesting. It's not just a normal brick breaking game, and they made it interesting. They made it different, So I can appreciate that. So
in back in the Atari's Brick Out, some of the bricks. I think Arkanoid's probably a good one to compare it
yes.
to. Certain bricks required a certain number of hits to knock out,
yes,
and
it wasn't
you'd
just
see
one
that
hit.
by changing color. In this game, the brick has a Roman numeral in it, which tells you basically how many hit points this has. So if you see a 4, you got to hit it 4 times.
Yep. And then, like I said, there's certain things that happen too when you hit it, and then there's boss battles. So it seems like after every 10 levels you get a boss battle. So there's not only the bricks you're hitting with the sphere, but you're also trying to knock out the boss. And the first boss I fought had these fists that were flying at you that would shoot down toward your platforms. So you had to avoid that, but also try to get the ball, to get the bricks and the boss. And so it was a lot.
It's a lot going on at once.
A lot going on there, yes. So and trying, if you're not ambidextrous or you're not used to doing those two things at the same time, that is where the co-op aspect of it would come in handy, and I'm hoping to be able to try that
Can you
out.
play with two separate controllers, controlling one each, or do they have to share a controller? Like,
No, it's two different Joy-Cons. Yeah,
Okay.
that's split the Joy-Con and give it off to somebody else. Yes. But
'cause I remember there was some Wii games, I think, or GameCube games that actually required you to share a controller that way. Like one person use the buttons, one person uses the
Yes.
D-pad to do actions on different characters.
Right, and you and I were talking jokingly about having a paddle for this game, like the old breakout game or whatever. But I was like, well, in this case, you would have to have like an Etch-a-Sketch style, where yeah.
Yeah, I
That'd be
didn't think
interesting if you're doing
I didn't
one
think that
player.
far ahead. That would be confusing. Probably
So,
more
but
confusing than trying to use two sticks.
I mentioned during the stream, I don't believe I played a brick breaking game since playing Brick Out for the 5200. So
You
playing
ever played
this,
Arkanoid?
I did not play Arkanoid because at that time it was like I played Brick Out and I was just like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna play any brick breaking games. I know what they do.
Because even Arkanoid came with a paddle controller.
Yeah. So, but this was nice to come back to, and it was still a little bit different, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's worth it, especially if you like brick breaking games or haven't played one in a while. Check that out. I think it's worth your
I think the
time.
last one I played, it was a Game Boy Virtual Console game with Kirby as the ball. I don't remember what it was, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Very
And that's
cool.
what I've been playing.
Thanks, Tim. I'll give you a quick rundown of what I've been playing. And I'm going to say that every single game that I mentioned today, I highly recommend. Every single one of them is definitely I recommend picking it up. But I'm going to first and foremost start off with a very easy one. I've been playing Fortnite Cross Rocket League. Rocket League has gone free to play. If you haven't, check it out. It's downloadable, free, it's fun. Do it. And they're having an event with Fortnite. So I got all my free rewards in Rocket League on Fortnite as well. So check those things out, and then you get other rewards in Fortnite for finishing the Rocket League challenges. So check that out. First game I'm playing, we've already talked about in the show, is Hades. Man, I am absolutely loving Hades. Such a fantastic, great game. Amazing dialogue, amazing sound, addictive as heck. Man, this may be in my Game of the Year contenders. I'm going to tell you that one right now. Absolutely, highly recommend Hades.
Yeah, I've been hearing all the good words on that game. I'm like, I'm on the fence now, but I traditionally don't like that type of game. But I understand that kind of takes it in a new direction. So
I'm with you, Jesse.
I'm looking at that one.
Jesse.
Yeah, I would recommend. The next one I recommend is The Long Dark. This actually came out the exact same week as Hades and Ori. And this is a survival game based in northern Canada, actually.
Hey.
And it is a very, very cool... it reminds me of Firewatch. Firewatch kind of meets survival aspects. Amazing story, again, very well written. Great voice acting. The sound design that goes along with it. You're playing as Crash in the north and you're cold. You have to survive. There are elements of like food, there's dehydration, there's hypothermia, there's blood loss. You need to manage all of these things and find your way. And it can be as grueling or as hard as you want it to be as well. There are some settings that you have the ability to adjust there. It's a little bit steeper of a price tag. It's about 40 Canadian dollars. So this may be one to put on your list for maybe a watch later, but I would highly, highly recommend The Long Dark. It is absolutely fantastic. Very, very cool. The next one I'd recommend is Orbed XL. And this one, unlike The Long Dark, is super, super cheap. This is actually from the same creator as Ding Dong XL and Super Blast XL. Nick Virginson, as I believe is his name.
I see a pattern here.
This is 99 cents in the eShop. I did a stream of it. It is just a ton of fun. It's a single button action. Very simple, but just kind of got that one more factor, one more run kind of attachment to it. I would 100% recommend it. Super, super enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Final, last game I've got here as well is Alwa's Legacy. I think that's how we say it. Alwa's Legacy. This is from Eldon Pixel. This was a Kickstarter, and this is a follow-up to Eldon's Awakening. This is a modern retro style game. You know, it reeks of feeling like games like Mega Man and DuckTales, and obviously a connection of like Shovel Knight. If you were somebody who played like modern retro platformers back in the 80s and 90s, whether it was on the NES or on the Super Nintendo, this feels absolutely perfect. It is a ton of fun. It's just a great world, lots of exploration. It just feels it is a comfort food. Do you know what I mean? It feels like that kind of comfort food kind of game. Absolutely enjoy it. And if you're picking it up and you haven't picked up Always Legacy Always, it is a 30% off right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop. That's less than a tenner for that game, and I think the Legacy is $20. I think. All of the games I recommended, I would recommend all of them.
Did you play Awakening?
I did not play Awakening. I was playing Legacy, and then Awakening, and I was like, you know what, I should pick up Awakening. So I picked that up. I haven't played it yet. Just the Legacy. They sent us a review code, so I got early into that. All of these games, by the way, except for Hades, I have Let's Plays up on the channel. You can check them out. Highly recommend every single one of them.
We do have a Hades video, I think, too.
We do have Hades. I didn't do the Hades one.
You didn't do that
Marty
one, but
did.
we do have one, yeah.
Correct. So it's on there as well. That's what we've been playing, folks. What you should questions? Community spotlight question. So before we jump into our questions, we'll lead off with our contest. We are doing a giveaway for Super Mario 3D All-Stars. There has been a winner selected through our Gleamio contest platform. That individual has been emailed. So if you've checked your email and you have not received an email from Nintendo Dads about being a winner, you're not.
I'm going to go check my email right now.
I will say the individual who won is not from North America. So yeah,
rigged.
I have sent rigged. I've got to now mail a game internationally. All right, so no, that's not rigged. That's not going to help us in any way. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll send an email to them congratulating them. We're asking for their mail address. Hopefully we get a response. We can send it to them, and if we don't get a response in 30 days, we're going to do it again. We'll just retry. But we'll see what happens there. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone who has entered that. We greatly appreciate it. We're trying to run more contests. We gave away a Nintendo Lego set like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that's the Patreon money right there, folks. That's why the U.S. guys can't get health care. All right, moving on.
What?
Tim, did you have a question before I start talking about stuff?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, Tim, do you want to read our first? We got lots of weird questions and comments. So I don't know where to start.
Sure thing. I'll just start from the top. We got questions from the email. First one is from Dennis Kocher, and I apologize if I did not pronounce your last name right. I'm bad at that. So, I was listening to your podcast, episode 298, and I wanted to reach out to all with my list of top 10 3DS games. This is my first time writing in. Thanks, Dennis. I got my first Nintendo Entertainment System back in 1987. I was a big fan of it, the SNES and GameCube, but fell out of the Nintendo for a few years until a triumphant return to form with the Nintendo Switch. Also, I have been living in Michigan, yay, aka Minnesota apparently, for the past 10 years. I wanted to give a shout out to Tim. Thank you very much, Dennis. Glad you joined the team of Nintendo Dads. That's
so
awesome. Thank you very much.
He also
Dennis.
included his top 10. I cropped that out and added that to the poll to my rankings chart, but kept the rest of the email to be read.
Thanks for the top 10, Dennis, and thanks for the compliment. That means a lot. All right. Hey, we're getting more and more Michiganders here. You better be nice.
I have no comment to that.
Hey, we're practically Canadian too, so come on. All right. Brandon Hallworth. I'm a 90s kid. I played Mario 64 when it was the first 3D game. I was not aware of camera controls back then, so I played the whole game without adjusting the camera. I know 34-year-old me is confused with how I ever did this. When I played the 3D All-Stars game, the muscle memory has me playing that way. Have you guys ever played a game where muscle memory really played a role in replaying it many years later?
I think in this case it might be a benefit because isn't the camera controls reversed?
I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, I don't know if it was all the games or certain games, but there was a lot of complaints about camera controls were inverted originally and put to normal in this version, and there's no way to swap it back. So people who do have the muscle memory doing it the inverted way are kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think Brandon, great question. For me, I think Donkey Kong Country. I would just say that. Like, I have just a lot of muscle memory associated with that game. Where it kind of comes back, oh, got to jump here, right? Like, oh, it's Minecraft, it's a minecart. There's where I jump, right? It just. So those kind of things. So yeah, I think that would be my example of it.
For me, I'll be honest, I don't think of muscle memory. If it happens, and I don't even notice it. I'm just, going to it, and it's not even something that crosses my mind. Oh, hey, I'm remembering this from when I played it when I was a kid, but.
Yeah, I think mine's kind of similar. It's more of like playing an old Final Fantasy and like, I have a feeling I should go this way first before the other way. And the first, the other way was the intended exit, but the other way had a secret. So learning where all the secrets were, kind of some of that kind of stuck in the back of my head. Yep. Episode says Sunshine's definitely flipped for camera controls.
I'll find out when I play that one. That's out of those 3 games, it's the only one I've actually played.
I have some words about Sunshine, but we'll wait until we get there.
All right. So moving on to our questions from Discord from Anuxis. And that was today. He posted this question for tonight's episode. Since it's officially October, what games, old and new, would you recommend to Switch owners to play this month, besides the cute New Horizons update? I would say Luigi's Mansion. Come on.
Yeah.
Castlevania games are common.
Yeah.
I think Game Explained Derek usually does some Castlevania marathon near Halloween.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Tim. I think Luigi's Mansion just feels kind of at home perfectly. Like, it's just.
It's like break that out again. Play some of it. Just play some of the tower stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a game that I remember playing. I'm going to look up the name. I think I want to verify it. Okay. I don't think this is available on the Switch yet, but there was a game called Costume Quest, which is kind of Halloween related.
Okay. And I was going to say we also have the Resident Evil games. They do have some on the Switch that you can play.
Yeah, that's right.
Quite a few, actually. So, really good ones. So, got that one. And, I'm sure anybody could say any of the ones we do have. There's even Revelations. I think they did a re-release on that. And then even, the remasters, some of the remasters, or not remasters, re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's, everybody's got their favorites. I would shoot out 4. I know that's one of a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
And always come back to the community. I'm sure there's other people that would put in theirs as well. So.
Yes.
Episode says zombies ate my neighbors.
That's not on the Switch though. He said
no,
Switch
it's not
owners.
on the Switch. Yeah.
Death Road to Canada. Just for the Connect reference, it's a zombie apocalypse Canadian game. So
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we can always keep up on a list so we can get a list going, and might be already one started in our Discord channel where this question was posted as well. So, all right, questions from the Patreon. Jason.
Yeah, this is left over from last week when you weren't here.
Sure.
Okay, so the prior week. For this one's for Justin. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Mario Sunshine, as you have never played it, and where you think it may rank in your top Mario games, if it makes the list.
So Mario Sunshine, I'm struggling with it. I'm going to be very honest with you, because there are times that it feels like I'm like, I know this game. Yeah, these things feel right. And it goes a little bit back to the idea of muscle memory. I feel like with Mario games, there's a muscle memory associated with it, right? Like, oh yeah, I know this long jump, I know this double jump, I know this backflip, right? A wall kick here, boom, 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 feeling good. But then, like, so for example, when I get into using Flood, those controls completely mess me up. And I don't know if it's inverted, maybe it's the wrong way. Like, I struggle using Flood with Mario Sunshine to a point that it frustrates me exponentially. Now, I actually moved the Pro controller, and I was using a plugged-in GameCube controller for a bit, and I found that a little bit better, but it didn't quite map the way I wanted it to. I need to continue to slog through it some more. As it stands right now, it would not crack my top 10 for Mario games as it stands right now. Let me get further into it. Let me get more hours into it. Let me maybe not want to break it because of the controllers.
Yeah, I don't know if you listen to the shows when you're not on, but last week I had words.
Really?
The words were unpleasant.
Sure. Yeah. So I appreciate that I can play it, and I appreciate that I've had fun with it, but I feel like the times I'm dying isn't because of me, but rather because of the control system. That makes sense. And that frustrates me. That frustrates me a lot. For games and for a franchise like Mario 64, I played that so many times. I know it. It feels good. I know how to play that. Galaxy, I have fond memories of it. And maybe it's the fact that, like, if I go back and play, Galaxy or 64, I would be frustrated too. But I guess here's the other part. I have nostalgia with both of those games. I have very deep history and memory associated with both those games and positive things that I probably will, I'd probably push those things to the side, like those flaws, those challenges, because of the nostalgia component of it. But because I don't have any of that with Sunshine, and I'm literally taking it at a kind of a fresh blush at it, these things that, because I don't have that memory to say, no, I'm going to push it aside because I grew up with it and it's amazing. I'm like, these feel weird. And also to think of a game that's like almost 20 years old, right? There's some trappings associated with it that you're like, man, I remember playing Super Mario Odyssey a couple of years ago and things are amazing. And then you're like, why are we going backwards? So that's my rant.
Excellent. And I was curious about that too, because I know you didn't play Sunshine, so it's good to hear. I was waiting to hear that answer. All right, next one is from Jesus Amada. Everyone is so hyped about the new Smash announcement. In all sincerity, I'm surprised by it, but it did not come out of left field. It's Nintendo trying to get their IP out there, Smash, by adding third-party characters, Minecraft/Xbox. This bodes well for Nintendo and Microsoft playing friendly for future game releases from Microsoft and their acquisitions. But I'm interested in the jump rope challenge. It's a silly little app that kind of works, and I see why they wanted it to delist it. But it's staying. Could this be setting a precedent? Could we maybe see Super Mario 3D All-Stars not getting removed? Or will the removal stay the way to help Nintendo in the last quarter of this fiscal year? So there's a lot, and it was very interesting about the jump rope challenge.
I think the fact that they, announced that after March it'll be unavailable definitely is to try to boost sales for this fiscal year. Because, why have 15 million units over 3 years when you can have 15 million units in the same year?
Yeah. Well, and I think there's definitely a strategy there that, of course, Nintendo doesn't share what their roadmap is with us, but I think there's definitely a strategy there that we'll see come to light as time goes on, obviously.
It will be interesting to see where this lands, because the end of the second fiscal quarter was yesterday, so we'll be getting that information in probably 4 weeks.
Right. Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see where that lands.
Yep. Business, Justin?
Ask me the question again.
Could we maybe see Super Mario 3D All-Stars not get removed? Kind of like what we see jump rope not being all of a sudden not removed like they said they would. Or is there maybe just a delay because, everybody's not in the office or whatever, but...
Sorry, so could we see Sorry, so hold on a second.
Will the removal stay the way to help Nintendo in the last quarter of their fiscal year?
No, their last quarter of their fiscal year is not going to be an issue this year for them. At least I don't believe so, right?
Especially if the rumored hardware comes out.
Yeah. No. I like my rumor is my. So my thought here is a couple of things. We're getting that in refresh March of 2021. You're probably also getting Breath of the Wild 2 at that time. Also at the end of that month is Monster Hunter. And there is another game that comes out that day, Rune Factory 5, right? A week before. Yeah, they're not worried. Their end of the year, their end of the quarter push is absolutely fine. They're not going to have any issues with that. They pull jump rope thingamajiggy. There's no reason to, right? There's no why is there any reason to pull the other games? No. But the other things that by them pulling the game, there's no value. By them not pulling the game, there's no value, and because there's a free game altogether. There's no monetary exchanges there. And also, correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody in the right mind is being like, "Sure, look it, I wasn't getting Nintendo Switch Online, but now you have a bunny that jumps. I'm all in." Right? So that's definitely not selling.
I kept it for that reason alone.
Yeah, that's not selling anything. All right, so let's be very honest with you.
It's not the bunny that jumps; it's the cat that shows up behind you when you've done well.
That's
right, exactly.
That's right.
But with Mario 3D, there's a monetary, right? There is a very deliberate component. I believe that the reason they're closing like March 31st is that it's a clean cut of like our celebration with Mario is done. There was a beginning, there was a middle, there was an end. It's done. Do I believe they should remove it? No. But we also see what happens when they said it became limited. Right, and this is what Jess was talking about a moment ago. Those sales were astronomical. I'm excited to see what the actual NPD numbers look like.
Buy 2 copies.
Right, exactly.
Or I normally wouldn't have done that.
So it doesn't make sense. I don't think it's a to help push their numbers fiscal component of it. I think it's just a weird business decision that I hope they.
There's a plan behind it. That
I do hope though.
Until that time,
I will say I do hope that they pull that decision. I do hope they just leave it on there and delist it. Same with Mario 35. Same
kind
with,
my thoughts, and it may not happen April 1, but maybe later on in the year, next year, they'll bring them back as individually purchasable items. Yeah. Maybe $30 each, all 30 for Galaxy, less for the others. Something that would probably total more than 60.
Right. Mm-hmm. That was my argument about that would happen, and also because of Zelda 35, the focus would be shifted to that.
At least if that happened, I wouldn't feel so bad about buying them as a bundle versus separately. Yep. Because I didn't get hardly any gameplay out of it before falling off.
Yeah. And one wish, I guess, beyond that too is if they do decide to do them separately, whether it is later or not, if they do it right away and sell them separately, then that's one thing. But one thought was that what if they decide to remaster them individually and then sell them, so that you still have your 3D All-Stars that you could re-release later on down the line if you ever want to play the original. Who knows? Like I said, we don't know what their roadmap is, what their game plan is, but it's very interesting. All right. Tyler Kopp, who's our newest member on Patreon. I'm really excited about the new Hyrule Warriors game. Mm-hmm. I never played the first title, but I love Breath of the Wild, so anything in that universe I want to play. So, and I think we all agreed with that. A lot of us agreed with that.
Yeah, I think when Zach Bryan was on it too long ago, I was like, I'm so on the fence about it, right? Like I want to. Here's the thing. I saw some cut scenes of it last weekend because last weekend was Tokyo Game Show.
Yes.
Right. They had that trailer. Trailer's out. Every time I watch it, I was like, I want to know more. Like I would just watch a movie just on this. Do you know what I mean? I'm like just put 90-minute. Tell me a Netflix story on this, and I'd be happy to watch it. So I feel like this is a game that ultimately one of these days I'm going to go into EV Games to pick up something. I'm going to black out, and I'm going to walk out with it in my hand. Not stealing it, by the way, purchasing it properly.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's probably what's going to happen here, because I feel like I want that interlude story. to know more about it. And the Dynasty Warrior games do not interest me. If it is your jam, so happy it's your jam. But for me, it's like, because it's Breath of the Wild, and because it's that kind of like third act or that middle act that we need more on, I'm super interested. Super interested.
Yeah, and then that's where I'm at too, is because of the canon of it. It's not just a Zelda game to be fun like the original Hyrule Warriors game.
Yeah, that was blatantly not canon.
Right. It was. They were having fun with it, right? So and
there's nothing wrong with that. It was a fun game.
It was definitely fun, and it was fun seeing what they did with the characters.
You even had a few stages where you played as Ganondorf.
Yes. So, but this one being canon and making Breath of the Wild now a trilogy, where, I mean, you might think that it could have been a trilogy even if they didn't have this, but we would have waited for that third game many years down the line. But this is for sure now a trilogy within years of each other, right? Or within months, depending on when we see Breath of the Wild 2 come out. So we'll have the prequel of this game, and how many people are going to go back and play Breath of the Wild now, to get, either after they play Hyrule Warriors or before, leading up to it. But it's just, I'm super excited for it, especially for me, because I am a hack and slash fan, and I like the Warriors games because of that. Just go in and just swing the crap out of a ton of enemies.
Solo something says, y'all have EB games? Wow. Yes. Yes. Up here in Canada, it's EB games. I guess for the US, it's GameStop, right?
Yeah, ours is GameStop. Yeah.
GameStop? Yeah.
Yep.
Hold on a second.
GameStop
I'm sure it's EB
owns
games.
that.
It used to use EB games when I was growing up. Bear with me one second.
Is your EB games on the verge of bankruptcy like our GameStop is?
I think they all are. Do you know what I mean? Like I go in, I'm like, oh, you're still here. And here's the folks that work in the South Lethbridge EB Games, super nice, very kind. I see them every couple of months when I go to give them money and wait for a game to show up, right? And they do their job. But it's one of those things I'm like, man, these things are...
Yeah, my GameStop is awesome.
The only thing right now that is saving GameStops and EB Games, to be honest, is this next generation cycle, right?
Yeah, I haven't stepped foot in a GameStop in months.
Here's the other thing. I would order probably from Amazon, but couple things. I like that. Like my EB Games is, and sorry folks, this is a Canadian. I am 3 kilometers away from it. Whatever that is for you for miles, you can figure it out. You're a semi-educated bunch, so you can
just slightly under 2.
Just under 2 miles from my house. So it is super, super close. Like it takes me less than 4 minutes to drive there. Amazon, I have to wait till the end of the day. And also sometimes it's, I've heard of people who are like, oh, I ordered a game to show up on Thursday and it showed up like 2 weeks later. And you're like, I'm not doing that. There's something to be said about going down there, picking it up, having it in my hand,
yes,
helping the brick and mortar guy.
These guys, this crew, I won't say these guys because there's ladies there too, but they call me up and say, hey, remember you got this pre-order, don't forget to come pick it up. And by the way, if you haven't paid it off, bring stuff and cut the cost down, give you a bonus and all. I mean, and when I go in there, they're like, hey, how's it going? They remember my face, not necessarily my name in most cases because I don't go in there that often, but they remember my face, and which is cool, and yeah, I mean, and I used to bag on GameStop too about how they treated their employees, and from what I read, but and then also from other their practices that they do that I didn't like. But after Toys R Us closed here in the States, it's like I don't want GameStop to close. I don't want the brick and mortar to close. I prefer to have that choice to be able to go in, like you said, to pick up the game the day it's released and leave with it.
I think I have a weird take on that. I'm not offended. I'm okay with GameStop going away if something better grows in its place. Because I'm not a fan of a lot of GameStop's practices. So I'm sure there's a better way to do things.
If there was a competitor there that was doing that, then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go here because I like that. But we don't see that unless it's a small mom and pop place.
The other part of it is that GameStop, and GameStop and EB Games, I'm using broad strokes in this one. And I have been to GameStops in the US as well when I've traveled abroad and been like, this is essentially EB Games. there's a specialty about them. There's a specialization, right? Because when you go in there, there is this, hey, it's like-minded people, right? No one walks into EB Games is like, sorry, I'm looking for a new couch. Curious, do you have flat screen televisions here? Right? By the way, do you have a hose attachment for a Dyson vacuum? No, you're here for video games, right? Or video game apparel, or video game associated, right? It's kind of a club. It's walking into Cheers and Norm, right? Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows you're there because it's like-minded people. And I think like you can go in there and you can watch the mom with their son or daughter picking out a game and having a conversation about it. There's the guy who walks in who looks like he's about the same age as you, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm picking up the latest Xbox as well. And you're like, awesome. Like there's kind of the like tap of the nose. We're all in this club together. We all like video games, and that's awesome.
And I've been in there too, where it's been where the mom is in there and has no clue.
Yeah.
But there's myself or other people who are like, hey, you need some help with that, and we're not even employees there. We're just like helping each other out. So
yeah. So I mean, and if I remember correctly, and again, I know we're diverging way off this conversation. But like, are they not trying to like revitalize the GameStops in the U.S. to almost be like boutique shops of like come in, sit down?
I think they tried to start that before the pandemic hit,
COVID, right? And then that kind
of put a kibosh on that.
Yeah, because I think like that's the one of the. So here's one of the things, Jesse. I love Kansas because you guys have barcades. I absolutely love barcades because again, there's this idea of we're all grown-ups, we're all coming here, we have a passion of something. And I hate to use the word safe space, but it's a place where if you have a passion for something, you can go there and be with like-minded individuals, right? So we're going to geek out about, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to play 4 players. Man, I love Donatello. Like, so I think EB Games, GameStops provide those kind of places. And if they can pivot themselves into being like hey, come on in and you can book a space and sit down and play or do something or try something. Like if it becomes more of I almost use the word like a hangout place, but it's not really a hangout place. It changes dynamically. But I also think like my experience in EB Games is like you are a jack of all trades and you have become a master of nothing because of the fact that you have got yourself into a challenge that you need to sell everything. I go in there and there's one wall is Funko Pops, right? And then there's another wall of like video game, hoodies and hats and stuff. And then there's a wall of games. And you're kind of trying to be a little bit of everything because you've made acquisitions. And what made you kind of really special or specialize is now becoming kind of, I don't know, flattened.
Yeah, it's kind of, before we leave our tangent, the story I read, I think, the console purist Facebook group, someone went into a GameStop, wanted to pre-order an Amico, and the person goes, "What the hell is that? Do you mean Amiibo? We don't pre-order those." I'm like, no.
Nice.
Amico is spelled like this. Look it up, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing." So I understand it's a kind of a niche product, but still, I think they should be able to train their people on the new things that are coming. Yeah.
If you're into it like us, we obviously specialize in Nintendo, but we know about all this other stuff. So
and that's the other thing. I actually feel really bad for their employees because
I don't blame the employees. It's definitely the management.
But if you think of like the stream of information that we are just Nintendo fans and that like we know every detail, every niche and cranny, right? To say here it is for PlayStation, here it is for Xbox, like here it is for the obscurity of other things, Luna and Stadia and Amico, like all these other parts of the video game industry, is challenging to be there. And also, hold on, let me just make a PSA right now. If you are pre-ordering a PlayStation and an Xbox or any next-gen console, and you call your GameStop and your EB, and they do not have it, and they do not have the ability to do a pre-order, be nice to them. Say thank you, have a good day, because it is not their fault that they're out of stock. That is not on them, so do not go have an out at them. That is not your job or responsibility.
That's right.
not cool. That's dad talk.
That
Not
is
Not cool. And you know who I'm talking about right now.
Yes.
Adam Leonard. Sean Capri. You little punks. Just kidding. I love you guys.
No, speaking of which, there are ways to get around that, and maybe that's what they're looking at. But like what Best Buy does is they send their employees off to get trained in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
So they specialize in that area that they come back to the store and help people with. That could still be something that could be done at GameStop or EB Games. And by the way, if you really go back far, it used to be called Babbage's or Funko-Land. So
I remember Funko-Land.
yes.
We never had Funko Land up here.
And look at Sean Capri says
Hey,
hi.
look
He
who-
just came
look
in
who-
right at the right time.
Justin
It's like-
summoned him by speaking
like-
his name.
It's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name 3 times, is rating with a party of 6. Sean, thank you very much for showing up your raid party. We appreciate that.
Nice. Thanks for the raid.
Must have heard me yelling about him and his Xbox Drive BS. All right.
All right. So next one was from Christopher Logo, who contributes to our blog once in a while. So thanks to Chris for giving us that. But he also wants to remind us, hey, Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions and other NHL 94 Rewind updates. So another push for NHL Rewind for the Nintendo Switch.
If that actually comes true, I need to see a video of him reacting to that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
You better record. You better
And
record
I just
it.
in some ways it's just a long hope. Like I just pray for you, sir. I just really hope it happens one day.
Never know. EA Play may one day come to Nintendo, right? So who
Mhm.
knows? All right. Richard Escobar would like to hear feedback from Mario 35. I played for a while and really like it. It's simply to pick up and play, combining not to die, picking up coins for power-ups, and defeating enemies to add time to your clock. It adds fun strategies to try to be the last Mario standing. To add to Christopher Logo's comment, Tampa Bay Lightning are indeed the Stanley Cup champions. If you want to see something cool, look at YouTube. Tampa Bay Lightning Tesla coil. When the Lightning scores, the Tesla coil creates lightning inside the arena. It's a pretty cool effect to see. So a little sports
how
ball.
did we just become like hockey chalk?
Little sports ball.
I don't know.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Well,
Hey
okay,
guys, Stanley Cup's done. That's my sports announcer
yeah,
voice.
just in time for the next season to start.
Right, exactly.
So one thing I forgot to mention when we talked about Mario 35 was you have the ability to buy a random power-up for 20 coins pretty much at any time.
Yeah.
And I found myself multiple times, if I had 100 coins and I'm Little Mario, just spamming that button until I can get something better. And then all of a sudden I've said, anything but a pow! Pow.
Wow, yeah. Yeah,
Dang.
Richard, I think our comments are, it's pretty awesome. Keep playing it. It's a lot of fun, and we'll probably continue to talk about it. It'll be interesting to see if they do anything different. Like if they do, I think I saw someone in the chat say like, hey, will they add Super Mario 2 or
Little
first,
tournaments or something.
first don't
too.
tease me like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't you put that don't you put that in my head, right?
Right.
Or Super Mario 3. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do any kind of involvement with it. Or they just keep it static like it is.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a thing too. Like it's not. I don't go to Tetris 99 all the time, but I like being able to go to it when I'm in that mood to play Tetris. So I'll the same will go with Mario 35.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. Eston Huff didn't Justin several shows back make a prediction about the next Smash reveal character, or was I enjoying some nice frothy beverage? I thought he did, and if he said he was wrong, he would provide free cookies for the office show for 3 months and bring back Flip Flop Fridays.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Eston. We had a town hall today with the Nintendo dads, and I had to get up and apologize for making that statement. So we are excited to announce that Nintendo Dads HQ for the next 3 months, cookies and donuts are being supplied, and as a matter of fact, actually be off at noon as opposed to their usual 8 p.m. off time, which I allow them to do, and they're allowed free beers, but only at Nintendo Dad's headquarters. And forget Flip-Flop Fridays. We're saying it's Fun Shorts Fridays. That's how we work here in corporate America. You're welcome.
And by the way,
That was random.
Eston is solo something in our chat, just to let you guys know.
Solo something. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
And the last comment I can see before we get to our last voicemail, Angry Guy 05 With the success of the Lego Mario sets, is it possible that Nintendo could announce more sets this year? I was hoping to see a Lego Luigi figure with a Luigi's Mansion playset by Halloween.
Oh my gosh, would that have been
Similar
something?
to the release of Luigi Mansions 3 last year. Hopefully we see this soon so my two boys can stop fighting over whose turn it is to be Mario. And
Yeah,
I think Justin, you're on board with that.
Yeah. So Angry Guy 05, I definitely think we're going to see more from Nintendo's collaboration with Lego. I kind of make the argument of this. They've hit two markets. They've hit the younger demographic with their Mario starter set, right? They kind of, when that was initially launched, that we all went, huh, not for me, not what I was thinking. And then they went to the older demographics, the us, right? The nostalgia, the adults doing Lego with the NES. There is a mid-market right in the middle that they have missed. And if you're thinking like, well, what is that mid-market space you're thinking of, Justin? I'm thinking of like the Harry Potter Legos, the Overwatch Legos, Star Wars, right? That kind of like between the ages of like, what is that? 8 and 80, 8 and 80, I guess, whatever that is, right? That mid-market, which is actually the largest part of their demographic, is where they're missing a Nintendo drop, right? A Nintendo focused piece of property. I think that's where they're going to spend that time. And I actually think, here's what I think. I think this is where something like a Zelda Lego set comes in. Because that franchise has, if I think of like, so I think of like an equivalent of that is like the Star Wars Lego sets, right? So you have all of the episodes 1 through 9 that you can pull, scenes from or vehicles from. And I think of when I think of the franchise of like Zelda, there is so many games in that, in so many different cuts of the games, right? So you could have an Ocarina of Time kit, you could have a Breath of the Wild kit, you could have a Majora's Mask, you could have like, there are so many different variants of that allows for, I think, more scenes and more content to be created. So there's probably more opportunities to monetize something like that. So I think we're probably going to see that mid-range. I think that's where they're going to strike next. It kind of makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And also when I think of like franchises that they would lean into to really do that, I don't think like you could make more additional sets of specific things. Now, I do think there may be opportunities where I think of like, hey, you could do a Samus, like you could build a Samus gunship or a Samus taller character, almost like Reinhardt from Overwatch. I keep pointing this way because I literally have him on my shelf right there. But like in that, so there is some things that they could lean into, but I think it's that mid-market. I would love to see like a Luigi's Mansion, almost kind of like the Ghostbuster house that they did recently. Yeah. Right, where you can like turn around, open it up, and there's like floors, there's levels. I think that would be absolutely killer. And you could also probably do like little vignette scenes of Luigi's Mansion too, right. Luigi's Mansion also. So I think there's a ton of opportunity for Lego. It'd be interesting to see where they go next.
But I'm gonna, an idea.
Yeah, Tim, let's hear your idea. I'm excited.
Well, you're just talking about the vignettes, right? For Luigi Mansion. What if they, instead of buying Luigi's Mansion in one set, you actually buy each floor in its own set, and then you can stack them.
Wow, that is monetization at its best, Tim.
All the DLC.
Yes.
All the DLC.
And of course, Metroid. So when you were mentioning Zelda, I was thinking, there'd probably be a couple sets I get there, especially the smaller ones, because I could put them somewhere on a shelf. The bigger ones are harder for me to place. But I'd be in a lot of trouble if they came out with something Metroid.
Yeah.
I saw that somebody was trying to push like the Lego Idea Samus spaceship set, which I hope gets the votes to do, which would be cool. I can handle just one, little Metroid set, but man, if they decide to do something big with that, I'd be in trouble.
And I'm fairly sure because Lego had like a submit your Lego ideas and designs, and people vote for them, and eventually they get licensed. Like I think that's how Lego like the DeLorean got. Yeah, Lego Ideas. I'm pretty sure someone did like a Legend of Zelda set.
They did, yes.
And it was being pushed. And I wonder if like Nintendo kind of went, we could do that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, that was it for the comments from our various areas. I think we got one voicemail left.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, Dads, this is Warren. I just recently convinced a friend of mine to buy a Switch, but now he has to convince his wife to let him buy a Switch. They've got a 4-year-old daughter, but his wife is not a gamer, and she's sort of a no-nonsense, no-thrills, serious kind of person. But I was wondering if you guys had any advice for like what he can do or say to try to sell her on the idea of getting a Switch for the family. Anyway, thanks. Keep on going with the show.
That's an interesting one. And I think, Justin, you sound like you would probably be the best to start with because of just how your family uses one Switch right now. And
yeah. If I was thinking like no nonsense kind of commentary on how I'd sell. Yeah, we only have one Switch in our family between the 4 of us. And I know that the commentary was like she's not a real gamer, but like, is there opportunities to find a game that maybe they enjoy or play together? I think it's something like an Overcooked. Obviously, I go back to that as a very easy example. But is there that kind of opportunity where there is that kind of connection? Man, how else would you
even
convince?
Party games. I mean, she's no nonsense, but maybe she likes to entertain.
Yeah,
and that could be something that could be used as a tool to entertain.
We've mentioned Jackbox games before.
Yeah, Jackbox, Boomerang Foo, Tower Fall, those kind of things.
Right.
I think the other part of it I would say is also saying to them, like, there's also a ton of free games that we'll have access to as well, right? There's a ton of free to plays. You've got your Tetris 99, obviously if you pay Nintendo Switch Online stuff.
There's even some learn to speak Japanese or Chinese type stuff on there too, different languages.
Yeah. I guess the other argument you could do is say, how about we make a deal? We will bring it into the house for 60 days. And after 60 days, you don't like it anymore. You're unhappy with it. We will put it on eBay or we'll post it to sell. So it's almost like a small trial, right? And I think once you get someone on their hands on with it and they have some fun with it, I think that that becomes easier to keep and easier to stay. I also think it's also a little bit of a shadow move there, because once it's in the house, it's probably not leaving the house. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll probably it's a little bit of a little strategic play there that may help.
And
I do think.
They said they had a young daughter too, right? So 4 years old, was it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and maybe it's introducing games like something like an Animal Crossing. Do you know what I mean? Where you could play together, they could play by themselves, and it's easily approachable. It's not causing a lot of, the question I would probably ask, or the barrier I'd like to remove, is like, what's causing the not wanting to have it in the house? Is it like I believe video games rot your brain kind of mentality? If that's the case, that's a harder thing to deal with. Or is it just like, I don't understand it, right? Like, it's a little bit of seek to understand what's the barrier, or what's the thing that they're finding a barrier for it that,
what's the root of this?
What's the root of that, right? Maybe the statement is like, yeah, if we get when you were in, we were dating in college and you had an Xbox, you ignored me for weeks on end. So I don't want a video game in our house, console in our house. Okay, let's talk about time management. Let's talk about, so there's a lot of, so I think you have to unroot why first, and then look to solve that. Yep. And that would be I don't know, there's a bit of psychology, I think, around that.
Also real quick too, when I was thinking of the younger daughter, look at our YouTube page with Gary and his daughter playing some of those games like Paw Patrol. I think Episode was pointing that out. And even Minecraft, for how he's mentioned his daughter has gotten into it so much. And it's been a learning experience for his daughter. So there's some learning that happens, especially when you can control it as a family, that you only spend so much time on it and then you're good. And then especially with the holidays coming up with probably better pricing on it. So there's a lot of opportunity there for sure. But I get that side of it as well.
Yeah. And maybe even saying to the individual, can we look into purchasing one in November when there's probably going to be a deal, right? Packaged in games. that kind of stuff as well. So I think there's some options. Mario Kart's always a good game to throw in there too because it's easily approachable and people like racing. Okay. Is that all of our questions, comments, concerns?
I think
Everything that I have.
think we're done.
Wow. What a show. What a show. Just look at us. Look at us. It's exciting stuff. It's exciting. All right. Tim.
Yes, sir.
Tim. Oh, look at him. It's little Timothy off. Tim, what's going on with TeePublic? Talking about this. What's new merch?
TeePublic is, what are you talking about? TeePublic.com? That's crazy. Actually, so what's going on? I think we hinted at this last week, but we're moving away from using Redbubble as our merch company, I guess, if you will, the company that houses all our merch. And going to use TeePublic. And we are working to get our site updated. So when you go to, say, something like nintendo.org/merch, it'll take you right to our page. So we're working on getting that site updated as well. But for now, we'll try to post it via social media, what our link is, because we have the store actually launching today. And we'll launch it out through social media, through our Discord, through Patreon, whatever means necessary to get it out to everybody to see that they can go check out our new TeePublic page. And right now they gave us the opportunity, since we're launching this weekend, for 30% off all of our products, our merchandise.
What, Tim? 30% all of the Nintendo
off.
Dad's merchandise?
Yes,
it's like 30 celebrating 300?
Correct.
It's like a lead up. Holy
Correct.
cow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
30%
insane.
off this weekend to lead up to our 300th episode, which
yeah.
I will say something here too as well. So unfortunately it won't make 30% off because it's a surprise when it comes out that the Nintendo Dads don't even know about. The other Nintendo Dads don't even know about. There will be a surprise in the 300th episode that will be going with the launch of the store next Thursday. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, so hold on a second. There's a surprise coming on Thursday, but the TeePublic store
is open,
is live now,
and you can get the usual merchandise with our logo, with the Dad Crossing logo.
All of
we
it.
got pins, masks, T-shirts, hoodies. We've got we still have the Voltendo Dad shirt on there. We've got the one that Blockfort did for us this year, who was the T-shirt winner this year for these the kind of like Super Smash Dads type thing.
Yep.
So we got those all there on the store, and you can get those logos and those graphics on pretty much anything like the other one, what we had in Redbubble, but a little bit, I would say, actually a lot better a lot more user-friendly website. So we're excited to launch there. We're going to be doing more with the store because we can actually run promos on there. We have a little more flexibility there, like this 30%. We can actually do shirt designs that we can do that if we sell 25 or more, we can then sell we can do new shirt designs after that. So there's a lot of flexibility there we're excited about, and hopefully more and more throughout going forward we'll have more about. And again, there will be a surprise for the Nintendo Dads 300th episode next Thursday.
Very cool. So again, that TeePublic is open now. We will post a link on our social and all those sites. It'll be on our website. 30% off. It's like for this weekend only. So if you're going to be getting that stuff, get it now. 30% off is a pretty good deep cut as well. Before we transition out as well, I do want to address this. Question has been asked. Ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo Dads, are you doing Extra Life? We've had people reach out to us. I will confirm right now, Nintendo Dads will be participating in doing Extra Life. We're doing a little bit of an organization right now. Hopefully by the next week, we will have much more information. If you're already in our Discord, we've already started an Extra Life channel. We're getting information going in there, but yes, we will indeed be doing that. You want to join the Nintendo Dads team? Once we get our page set up, once we get our registration set up, which we'll be doing relatively soon, jump on board. We're happy to do it again. Extra Life is all about raising funds for children by playing video games. For
we actually
Miracle
do
Net-
have a page set for
Is
that.
it already set up? Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God,
already
Tim.
have the team, the Nintendo Dad's crew team already set up. We already got $10 raised already towards the goal, towards our goal. So, and in fact, our stream is on that page right now. So, because I did link Twitch to it. So
Clever.
So we'll get that in the Discord. We're gonna get more information. So yeah, look for us very soon. We'll be posting out information for it. But yes, indeed, we will be participating in Extra Life. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, we have a championship belt to defend against the Mega Dads because we are like 4-0 for beating them every single time for the most money raised. And by God, we will not be beaten by John and Adam.
Yes. And again, we'll have that link out for our Extra Life crew page, so you can join in and join. You can start your own page, but then you can join our crew and help us toward get our goal. And we'll make sure and get that out on social media, of course. But you can also get to it through our Discord on the free side. So you actually, there is a section of Discord where you can join and see just regular announcements like this and get to it, especially for specific shows. We have, again, that Extra Life page where we'll have a link there as well.
Yeah. Excellent. I think that's it, right? That's our news. That's our closer. Let's start closing this thing out. Ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, big thanks to our amazing Patreon producers. That's Chris Mears, Dave Ernsberg, and Antonio Contrario. Thank you so much. And of course, as was mentioned before, that is nintendodads.org. Check that out for all of our latest YouTube videos, tweets, podcast episodes as well. Links to our social media, Patreon page, our Nintendo Dads merch. Fantastic news. If I can direct you one place this week, one place that I would like you to go to check out our content, I direct you please to head over to our YouTube channel. Why do you ask? Because we have some amazing first look videos that have been going up all the entire month of September, including Geo Rifters, Journey of the Broken Circle, Robots Under Fire, Liars of a Clockwork God, Breakpoint, Kirby's Fighters 2, Going Under, Kirby Fighters 2, Troll Hunter, Lost Ember, Endurance, Unrailed, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. We have so much content there, so much videos. First look, subscribe, check that video out being done by our amazing content creators. So please go give them some love and support. You can, of course, find us on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, of course, on Twitch and YouTube as well. And as I mentioned before, just typing in Patreon, typing in Nintendo Dads on Patreon will bring you here as well. You can email us by sending us an email to nintendodads@gmail.com or call us, just like Marty and Warren did, at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music you hear throughout the show. And of course, you can download us from your local favorite podcast app of choice like CastBox, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and I believe Amazon. Amazon has a podcast I think we might be on. I'm pretty sure we are.
That's new, and we're on it.
Check that out as well. And of course, while you're there, 4 or 5-star reviews. That is all we take. Your button doesn't even work for 3, 2, or 1s. Just 4 and 5s. I promise you, it's this weird algorithm for excellent podcasts. So you should do it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can join this show live every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Twitch and on YouTube. Jump in our chat, have a conversation with us, engage in some of our crazy antics and fun. We absolutely adore and love it. Be kind, be good. Thank you very much for tuning in. For myself, for Timothy, for Jesse, and for an absence, Marty Estes. Have a great week, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
I don't know what animal this is or what Pokemon this is,